not a surprise for me, really. I mean, scent is huge when it comes to meeting people. You know, it's the pheromones is the chemical scent of a person, and you either like it or not. And that's why people, women could say to me, he drove a lovely car, the guy, he was so polite, he paid for the date, he was good looking, but there just wasn't any chemistry, there was no spark. I just don't fancy him. And it's down to pheromones. So vanilla is, a very sweet, a reliable scent. You
Hmm.
always know what vanilla is gonna smell like. It's gonna be pleasurable, and it's trustworthy because you can rely that it's going to be pleasurable. And they're the things that you're looking for in a partner. You want them to be trustworthy. You want them to be sweet. So it is connected to relationships that way, I believe, and it is inoffensive as well. So it's a calming scent too. You want the relationship and your partner to bring calmness and positivity to your life. And that's what vanilla does, really.
And vanilla is that scent as well that kind of goes back to your childhood. As you mentioned, it's such a familiar scent.
It is. And like I say, it is that reliable scent that almost brings you home. Like you said, it reminds you of home. Scent is very connected to memory, as we know, because those areas in the brain are connected, memory and the scent. So it's very, very relevant in relationships, in memories, in positive memories, especially. You can be brought back immediately to that time and place, and almost be there by scent alone. So it makes the memories very vivid, and it can create a brilliant ambience, from something very simple and affordable. You can have those candles and those scents in your home and not have to do anything else, and it will create, even with the candles that Lidl are selling now, it creates that ambience. Even a candlelit dinner, or a candlelit night in, you don't have to go out and spend money to have a great date. Couples just need to carve out time to create happy memories, keep that emotional bond strong. That's what keeps the relationship healthy. The emotional bond you have, and open communication. That's how you keep the bond healthy, having that open, good communication and creating good memories together.
And the research as well, it has revealed that almost a third, as you mentioned there, the dates and the evenings at home, that 29% of Irish people say their ideal date is a cosy evening in. I thought that was just an age thing, but maybe not.
Yes, I can relate to that. No, that's so true, Michaela. And you took the words out of my mouth, because I was just going to give that statistic, saying on the subject of nights in, 29% of people said, that's my ideal date. So sometimes guys feel under pressure, and the partners and the husbands, um, to bring the girl on this big, magnificent, very costly date. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about having your own time carved out and having that special date night. Not talking about the kids and the mortgage and how Johnny's doing in school. It's about having fun, like when you first dated, and building that connection again. And you have to keep dating your partner to keep the spark alive. I always say love is like a flower. You have to keep watering it, and you can do that in the comfort of your own home. We saw that with COVID. People were asking me, we can't go out, we can't go to our usual restaurant that we go to whenever, once a week, once a month, or we're not allowed out. What do we do? And I mean, even Stacey Solomon was having garden dates in her garden that time. So it's about staying at home, you know, loving your life, being grateful for what you have, creating that ambience and those good memories. It's not about how much money you spend, or going out all the time. It's just about carving that time out to have fun and have that date night. And women, this is a tip for the guys. Women allot points to men differently. So if a guy brings, for instance, 12 roses, he'll get 1 point. But if he brings a rose every day for 12 days, he'll get 12 points.
Yeah.
So it's about the effort. So, to have a cozy night in with these beautiful candles that Lidl are doing, it's so thoughtful. It's creating the atmosphere. It's romantic. Women love romance. women love candles as well, but
Yep.
we love the romantic ambience. So it's a win-win. Guys don't have to do the huge gestures. You get the points for all the little stuff you do.
And that feeds into then the love languages, which there's so much talk I feel about in recent years, that maybe years gone by, people didn't actually differentiate between this. So there's words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, receiving gifts, and acts of service.
Yes, and this is a great insight, Michaela. This is a huge secret in the love world that people don't know, unless you've come across that great book, The Five Love Languages, or, you've come across it yourself from experience. So the five love languages, it basically means you have to speak to your partner in their language, not the language you like to be spoken to in. So I had a couple, and the guy said he used to travel a lot. He had a great job traveling the world, and every time he went away, he brought his wife back a gift. And even though she was very grateful, she was very sincere in her thanks, and she'd say thanks a million, that's beautiful. The day he emptied the dishwasher, she just, overflowed with love and appreciation for him, and he couldn't understand. He said, here I am buying these expensive gifts from all over the world, different countries, and even though she was glad, I mean, this appreciation for emptying the dishwasher went on for weeks and weeks. So her love language was acts of service. It wasn't gifts. So he loved to receive gifts, so he thought she'd be the same.
Yeah.
So if you can tap into your partner's love language and serve them that way, it's a game changer. It's a game changer.
And as we look towards Valentine's Day now, Frances, have you any tips on creating the perfect Valentine's Day date? I know it's obviously individual to everyone.
I would say just put a bit of thought into it. It doesn't have to be costly, like I say. 29% of people, like we spoke about, voted at home. So I would say think of the love language of your partner. Think of what is best suited to you. But I know that, most people appreciate the effort of a night in, with a nice ambience, just the two of you, that you've planned. Now, if you do want to go out, you can go out too, but that you've planned and you've put a bit of thought into. And the most important thing, like I say, is you don't talk about any stressors, no finances, no, kids at school, just having that time to reconnect. And, often I advise people, check in with your partner. Now, this should be done often, but say, how are you doing? How are we doing? What do you think the relationship is out of 10? How am I doing with this out of 10? And, once you have the feedback, people will tell you the feedback. You can improve. You can say, God, I got a 9 out of 10 for those things, but I see, you want to spend more quality time. You want to have more date nights like this in together. So let's have that. You can work then on the low number answers, and it's life-changing for people, and they can do the same for you. So it's just to keep getting to know your partner and keep checking in with them.
Do you think us as a nation, we don't do enough of that?
I think, Michaela, to be honest, everybody in the world doesn't. And not just the Irish, we don't do it either. But we are living very busy lives. The men are working very hard. They're amazing to support their families. The women are amazing. They're working, so hard to keep that balance and work for their families. So both parties are working so hard in this modern day that it can be hard to carve out time, but you have to carve out the time, because we forget that it's a priority. We forget that we have to do that. So we're all guilty of it, not just the Irish, but the world in general. And, if you keep dating your partner and you keep watering that flower and keep making it the number one priority, and carve out time like you do to go to the gym and work, you will have a successful relationship.
Well, we'll start anyway with the vanilla. We'll get that going and hopefully that'll help. Frances, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.